Hey everyone, I am Blind Ryan, aka Ryan Maxwell Duncan, aka RMD, aka Maxwell Manor. I will be consolidating all of these names in the future. And I wanted to do a rant about a problem that I've seen in accessibility ever since I started it back in 2016. Thank you, Ian Hamilton. And I've also kind of wanted to make this my intro video, so I'll get the intro bullshit out of the way. I am Ryan. I have disabilities. I'm legally blind, partially deaf, severely asthmatic, and COPD, and I have fibromyalgia. Can't work, so I do various things to, kill time during the day. I stream because I like talking to people. I make accessibility videos because I like people being able to play games. I have this dream about someday helping a dev team make a game accessible to the blind and then getting it tattooed on my arm in honor of them. Like an image on the front of my forearm and then the names of the developers in braille on my inner forearm. So I believe that's it. I stream on Twitch. I make videos here. It is what it is. I also have a dog. His name is Chip. I have a playlist of him if you want to see that. So let's get to it. Hogwarts Legacy rant. I saw this on the blind subreddit, and I'm going to read it all out so blind people can follow along. Now, before I get into this, I'm going to say two things. One, I have nothing against the user, Brad LB22. I don't have anything against him, even though I'm using him as an example. I disagree with his mindset, but I do not have anything against him as a person. So I want to get that out of the way. I'm not throwing shade at you, dude. And two, this was going to be a much angrier rant because I saw it at like 7 in the morning when I woke up. But taking Chip out on a 20-degree, blustery, windy day for a walk around our block, that will quell any rage. So I'm in a much calmer frame of mind, which may seem weird if you've seen any of my other stuff. But anyway. Harry Potter Legacy Rant. Portkey Games has an entire accessibility article. In the article, it says it has talking menus. It even says that the talking menus will be activated once you start the game. I contacted them to ask about Nav Assist, and nope, they didn't add it. So there's talking menus, but someone who's completely blind can't play it. Okay, honestly, that frustrates me so much. Okay, first off, I get it. Very frustrating. Is what it is. I had a similar situation with Deep Rock Galactic. That is a mining game where you are a dwarf and you go into a planet and mine shit out, and it's fun, great fun game. And over the last few years, they've been adding more and more shit to make the game busier and busier, and it's gotten so busy that I can't play it anymore, even with mods. And when they made mods available, I made a showcase video showing off how great it was that they did that. And it is what it is. Sometimes we can't play games. The mindset that I want to address is the entitlement. So I made a thread. I need to go to this real quick. I made a thread a few weeks ago, yeah. Hogwarts Legacy. By the way, my roommate bought it for me for Christmas. Thank you, Brandon, for buying me this game for Christmas. A couple of my blind friends also have this game. QA. No. Oh, Christ. There it is, former QA. And the QA guy said, thanks so much for your question. This is before the article came out, by the way. Thank you for your question. There are many accessibility options. Audio visualizer to display icons on screen during audio events, a left-handed mode, a menu reader, colorblind options, larger text size options, visual contrast options regarding controls. It's very similar to games like God of War or Assassin's Creed. Normally it requires multiple button presses, but this can be changed from the accessibility menu. So, that got me so excited that I came out of retirement. That, and also the fact that I can run, so I can actually run Chip out when it's not freezing. And I didn't think I could physically run with my lungs. I didn't think I'd be able to do that. So that kind of opened up a lot of possibilities. Anyway, when I saw that news, not even the full article because it wasn't out yet, I came out of retirement because I wanted to cover this game. I wanted to showcase what they're doing because it's a good thing. They're taking steps in the right direction. It's not all the steps. That'd be nice. But I've talked with a shit ton of developers over the last 8 years, and it's not viable, bro. It's just not. Making games blind accessible is not viable. It can be done, but unless you get in there really early like Naughty Dog did, it's just not going to happen. Because making a game blind accessible would require so much work that if they didn't get started on it from the beginning, it would take so much time that it wouldn't be viable. Because you got to remember, we are a niche market. We are a super niche market. There are not that many blind people. There are not that many blind gamers. We are a niche within a niche. And I'm not even fully blind. I'm legally blind. 2400 in my right eye, nothing in my left. So some of the text enlargement features, that's going to be great for me. So I'm going to go over some of these comments. Yeah, I'm not sure why they would half-bake accessibility. Seems like a no-brainer to add in nav assist, but what can you do, I suppose? Yeah, it's annoying. How? How do you propose? Where are they going to find the time? Where are they going to find the budget? Portkey Games works for WB. They're under a deadline. How are they going to find the resources and the time? If they had gone into it from the beginning, that would have been different, but they didn't. Frankly, I'm glad they added anything at all. My hope is that enough blind people who are into this will get in touch with them and be respectful about it, that maybe they could add it later, maybe they could add it to their next game, but viably, no, it cannot happen. It just will not happen. I'm sorry, it won't. I'd like it to, but it won't. Seems like most games are trying to be accessible, which is pretty shit if you're totally blind. Yes, I agree with that. It totally sucks when you're blind. Oh, for sure, literally the response someone got once from Wizards of the Coast about blind player and Magic the Gathering and how their accessibility policy basically throws them under a bus, was something along the lines of, well, they cannot see the artwork, so why are they even here? That is another really good point. Portkey Games got back to him. I can't tell you how many devs I've emailed over the years that they haven't gotten back to me. They haven't answered me. They've been too busy. Or they just haven't been interested in accessibility. There was nothing to be gained from giving me any kind of answer, yay or nay. Because I like when devs tell me no. If devs tell me no, I can just say, okay, I can move on to the next game. Fine, whatever. But when they leave me hanging, it fucks me off. But anyway, so I believe it is a matter of perspective. Blind people need to realize we are a niche within a niche, and totally blind people are doubly so. There aren't that many games for you. There's War Sim, there's Serial Ultimate. You're welcome, by the way. There's Mortal Kombat 11. There's Last of Us, obviously. There's God of War. There's these other games. Accessibility is coming. It's not here yet, but it is coming. It's coming a lot further than I fucking thought it would. I'll tell you what, man. Steam Deck coming out. That has raised a lot of concern about UI sizes. That has been a fucking godsend for my legally blind ass, because I have bitched about UI sizes forever. So progress is coming. It's not coming as quick as we'd like. That sucks. But being an entitled, well, I can't even say he's an asshole, because he isn't being an asshole. He's just being disappointed, and that's fine. But being entitled, thinking that all games should be blind accessible, and that it's bad that they're not, to the point where you get pissed at the developer for not doing it, that's entitled. That's terrible. Don't do that. You have to look at it from the developer's point of view. The developers only have a limited amount of time, a limited amount of resources. If they didn't, most of the devs don't even know that they can do this shit. Most of the devs don't even know that it's easy, relatively speaking, to make their game blind accessible. Look at Hades, for example. Hades is almost completely blind accessible, completely by accident. They added some people added a mod. I can't remember your names. I'm sorry. It was on Twitter. Honest to God, I can't remember your guys' names. But they got a whole team together and they made Hades accessible. They did the door thing. They did the lava thing. Don't agree with that as such, but they made the game blind playable. The game was already pretty blind playable, but they made a mod and took it the rest of the way. Good for them. But Hades was almost blind playable without even trying, because they cared that much about their audio design. So it's not like it's impossible. All you need to make a game blind playable is you need a way to control the game, controller support or keyboard support, obviously. Mouse support isn't going to help you at all, because blind people can't use mice, really. Not easily, anyway. And then some way to tell gamers, or tell blind gamers, what is on the screen. Audio cues, menu narration, just tell the blind people what is on the screen. Last of Us did it. It was probably a bitch and a half to do it, but they did it. And anyway, so here's what I said. Congratulations, you're going to be in a video I'm going to make about this very thing today. And he replied, there's more. I contacted the company through their help link. They have an accessibility email, but I got nowhere when trying that. They answered you, dude! So I contacted them, and when they replied saying there was no nav assist, I asked what the point of talking menus was if blind people couldn't play it. The person said, as reiterated, navigation system isn't planned, but will be passed on to the team. Then they closed the ticket. They actually answered you! They never answer me! That's why I stick to indie games, because the devs actually answer me! You know? I said, well, for what it's worth, I'm making a video about this very thing later today. You've inspired me to finally get off my ass and really hammer this home. People need to know that, and you are the catalyst to my rage. Well, freezing weather kind of fucked that up. Thank you for that. No problem. Post it when it's done. Oh, I most certainly will. Hopefully it'll get me some traction. I've been making accessibility videos for a long, long time. Got a lot of options added to a lot of indie games. And then I asked him for the email, which I needed for the video here. Open that in a new tab because we're going to go over that at the very end here. Awesome, thanks. I'll be hitting that point too. Email will probably get you no answers. I use the help thing and it helped me know that they don't really care. Dude, there are so many people in this fucking corporation. You got WB Games. WB Games don't care. They care about making money. We don't give them money. We are too niche to make them money. Take the publisher out of it. Publishers suck. I fucking hate dealing with publishers. I don't mind dealing with the individuals in the publishing companies. I have dealt with people in the publishing companies that are very good people. I very much like them. But they only have so much that they can do. So it kind of sucks. For them as well as for us. And as for the dev team, it's like I said, they don't have the time, they don't have the money. Awesome, thanks. I'll be hitting that point too. I'm hoping I can double this as my new intro video because your two posts, one here and one in the game subreddit, really cut to the heart of what I've been saying about accessibility in gaming since Ian found me back in 2016. Shout out to Ian Hamilton. Eventually I will get that tattoo and send you a picture. Looking forward to checking it out. My buddy Glitched Vision, John, said one person's quality of life might be another person's accessibility feature. I very much agree with this. That is why I advocate for adding all of the options. Hopefully, the fast travel network will assist those players with low vision like myself, but the lack of navigation assist is painful. It's not that they didn't do it, it's that they couldn't do it. They might not have known it. They might not have had the time for it. They might not have had the energy for it. Maybe the talking menus are there for those with low vision. That is actually why they're there. I wonder if you can make the text larger. You totally can. So, that's that thread. Wait, isn't there more? Isn't there more? No, it's just my post, the last one. Damn. So now we go to the other one. And the same dude, same Brad. I'm completely blind, know the menus in the game will talk, but I'm wondering if I'll actually be able to play the game. Edit. So I got an email back and there's no nav assist. It seems pointless to have talking menus as an accessibility feature just to find out that a completely blind person can't play the game. That's actually true. I actually agree with that. If you're gonna have... See, it's weird because talking menus is really a cock tease for blind people, and I totally get that. But at the same time, I'd rather have an incomplete suite of accessibility options than no accessibility options at all. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll not really get any answers after all you have the same access to the internet that I do. I'm just wondering if this game will have a nav assist. I don't really get the talking menus thing. I'm not sure how common of a feature it is, but in my limited experience, I've seen it in one other game, and that game didn't have any other features that would help someone who was blind. I'm just not sure this feature is even made for people with low or no vision, since it seems rather useless for both groups on its own, unless, like you said, there's also other accessibility features to go with it. I have low vision and found the menu reading to be kind of pointless and annoying in the one game I tried it, since it was so slow and not even available for all in-game text. These are the accessibility... unsure, but I sincerely hope it does. I don't really see how you could without assistance. Would be cool. Yeah. And then it's basically just people saying, sorry, sucks for you. Which, yeah, it does. And I totally get that. And I'm not here to rag on you. I reiterate, I'm not here to rag on you. I love this. This is another issue that I want to get off on a little sidebar about. What do you mean by blind? I mean, I can't see. Then how are you reading this? Using a screen reader on my phone called VoiceOver. Okay. So... blindness is a spectrum. We all accept that. I am legally blind. Brad is completely blind. That is, But shorthanding it to blind is what causes confusion like this guy has. Because I can say I'm blind. My nickname in prison was Blind Ryan because I was the blind one. But I'm not really blind. I'm only legally blind. So just know, all of you blindness is a spectrum people who really want to hammer that shit home and, all that confusion like this is going to happen. And you need to take it with good grace. You need to not be a dickhead about it. So, there's so much stuff in this game that requires being able to see that I don't think it's playable, even with nav assist. You have to aim at things, fly through things. That's another really interesting point, and I think nav assist could help, but again, they didn't. How were they even going to know about this, really? Because I've played other WB games, and they don't give a fuck about accessibility. Let's see, and then just people asking questions. Okay, so I think I've made my point. Don't be an entitled asshole. It's an issue that I've had for years and years and years with not even the disability community, just in general, the zeitgeist. The disability community is a microcosm of the zeitgeist, and the zeitgeist lately has been entitled. Fuck me, you guys have been entitled. So here's what they have in Hogwarts Legacy. And I'm going to make a video about this, showing off all this stuff when the game comes out. I don't have early access, so it'll be on the 10th. Let's see. Hello, Hogwarts students. You'll find accessibility features available listed below. Visual, text-to-speech. Menu narration for menu items is available in all supported languages. All players are initially guided towards TTS feature on the first launch, allowing for most complete customization of their experience from the start. The volume and voice can be customized. I wonder if it'll have a pitch or speed setting. That'd be nice if it did, but we'll see about that. Generally, I agree with that one guy who said that TTS tends to have a problem with speaking way too slowly for it to be viable, because I also listen to mine pretty quickly when I have my voice chat on for my chat, because I use TTS as well. Colorblind modes, preset modes. Oh god, I hate those preset modes. Those things do not work for colorblind people. I mean, they're nice to have, but they don't work right. It's really hard for me to explain because I'm not colorblind. Ian Hamilton explained it really well. You can find him on Twitter. Ask him about it. Display settings, brightness can be adjusted. Motion blur, chromatic aberration, depth of field, and film grain can be toggled off. Thank fucking God. Text scale. An option is offered to scale the majority of in-game text, the majority, to a larger, easier to read size. High contrast, an option that sets the background of text to pure black or white, depending on the screen, to be easier to read. I like that. High contrast gameplay turns gameplay environment to grayscale with key elements such as enemies, allies, and elements in high contrast color. I didn't think they'd add that. That's a big one for low vision, because that is not easy to do, I don't think. Although, I don't know, it might be easy to do. I'm not a game dev, so I've only talked to game devs, and what is easy to do that we think is not easy to do for them all the time. Sometimes something that seems simple is really, really difficult. Camera shake, screen magnifier compatibility. Players can use PlayStation Zoom and Xbox magnifier whenever needed. That's nice. Auditory, separate volume controls. That's nice. Subtitles, spatial audio. This game supports spatial audio for varying speaker setups. That is interesting, because that might help blind people. Audio visualizers, that'll help deaf people. Key sound effects can be visually displayed on a wheel around the avatar during gameplay to assist players who might be deaf or hard of hearing. Aim mode, held and toggle, thank God. Invert axis, stick swap, sensitivity, follow camera speed, PS5 exclusive motion sensor function, that's nice. Difficulty options, tutorials, objective reminders, and guidance. I'm less. I mean, the game. This is not Elden Ring. This is not a game that you need to get your ass kicked at. So I'm fine with difficulty levels here. Some people might remember my Elden Ring video when I went off on a tear about how it doesn't need an easy mode, because that's not the basis of the game. What it needs is proper fucking visual indicators, auditory indicators. Elden Ring needs to be fixed in a million different ways that aren't the difficulty. The difficulty is fine. The difficulty is what it is. It's meant to be a hard game. The problem with the game is that I can't fucking see where I need to go. General setting tooltips. All settings are accompanied by tooltips. Auto-saving, obviously. Accessibility feedback. Accessibility, aka ally, means avoiding and correcting any unnecessary friction or barriers that prevent people with a range of impairments from enjoying games. It's basically boilerplate stuff. It's nice that they gave us an attaboy. It's more than I ever expect from AAA developers, which is why I don't cover their games very often. But, you see, all of this stuff that they added a lot. There's a lot of crap here. There's a big old bunch of stuff. And instead of your boy being thankful that that stuff is there, he's upset. On the one hand, I totally get it. Looking forward to playing it. Can't play it. That sucks. And to his credit, he's not being an entitled asshole about it. But he is, being a little entitled, which isn't a bad thing in and of itself, but it hit me in such a way that it is something that I wanted to address. Now, I don't think anything will actually change. Not even in the long term, because nobody watches my videos, for one thing. I mean, even if this video blew up, that's not going to make an entitled asshole not be an entitled asshole. It's not going to make Hogwarts Legacy suddenly blind playable. What I can hope is that some indie devs see this and decide, okay, maybe I want to work with this guy, maybe I want to work with some blind people, maybe I want to make my game blind accessible. How would I go about doing that? Well, keyboard controls, controller support, audio cues out the ass, menu narration, text narration, all that jazz. Maybe something good will come from this, but it will not be immediate. And like I said, entitled people are just going to be entitled. Now, for Brad and other disappointed blind people, I want to give you perspective. Compare this to Cyberpunk. Remember how accessible Cyberpunk wasn't? And how pissed off everybody wasn't because the game was so buggy that even sighted people couldn't fucking play it? Compare that to something like Hogwarts. Compare fucking Batman Arkham Knight or whatever the fuck the Batman games are that are also from WB. Mad Max is from WB. Lord of the Rings is from WB. All different development teams, but nevertheless, the older games are not as accessible as this game, and in future, games are going to be more accessible. We are going down that path. We are going down the right path. We're just not going as fast as any of us would like. But we are making progress, and we need to keep that in mind. And what we definitely need to do is not bitch at developers for not adding these options in. Either they didn't know or they couldn't do it. It just could not be done. And they do not deserve to be bitched at for that. They deserve to be thanked for what they were able to add. Because they very easily could have just said, instead of doing all this accessibility shit, we'll do the Quidditch shit. Or we'll do a multiplayer shit. And we'll get shit on for that, too. No, well, all this time they were spending making accessibility things was time they could have spent doing multiplayer. Because, oh god, the Steam forums are nothing but fucking multiplayer. Every fucking game. Does it have co-op or multiplayer? Fuck off with that shit. That's just one of those things that bugs the shit out of me. I fucking hate it. Because some games, yeah, it makes sense. But most games, they're single player. Fuck off. But anyway... That is my big rant. I do want to end this by saying thank you to Brad for motivating me to make this. And again, I have nothing against you. You are completely, you are in the right here. It is disappointing. It sucks. But I'm hoping that some good can come of this. And before I leave, I would like to say I do offer descriptive playthroughs of games. So if you really, really, really want to experience Hogwarts or any of the other games that I happen to have, we can talk price. I work relatively cheap. I just need to know that people are interested in it. Because I've made tons of descriptive stuff over the years. Some of which I've gotten rid of because I didn't know about audio ducking. So it kind of sounded like shit. But if you are interested in having a game or a series described to you, I do that. And I've done many, many games in the past. So... if you are interested in getting Hogwarts described to you, please let me know, and we can work out a price point, and I will describe the entire game for you, front to back. You can tell me what you want your character to look like. You can tell me what you want your house to be. You can be as specific or as non-specific as you want. I will do it. And I only ask for some money so that I know that you are actually interested in seeing it to its end. Anyway, I hope you all have enjoyed this. I would very much like comments in I would like to have a discussion in the comments section if I can untangle my brain for 5 fucking seconds. And I will see you all next time.